All right, let's get into 14 and 14 Plus. Let's get into the iPhones. So obviously, we already knew this was going to be the case. We made a video on, you know, some of these model units, and it seemed that the writing was on the wall for the mini model for a while now, that it just didn't sell well and people wanted bigger phones. We already kind of knew that, but it does suck to officially say goodbye to the mini model. Now, at the baseline, we're going to have a 14 and a 14 Plus. So you're going to have a standard size of 6.1 inches and then a 6.7 inch regular phone, non-pro. You don't need to go pro in order to get a bigger size. 6.7 inches comes with the other benefit of probably packing in a larger battery. I think this Plus model, iPhone 14 Plus, is going to be a big seller, like out of the bunch, because it kind of gives people what they want. The big screen seems to be a demand, and then a slightly lower price than going for the Pro model if they feel they don't need the extra Pro features. Apparently, the other thing they improved was thermal performance, but they briefly just brushed over it. They're like, play some more video games. I'm like, all right, okay. 1200 nits of peak brightness on that OLED display. Other things you've heard about already in the past, like ceramic shield. 5 colors, midnight, starlight. There is a new blue, a purple, and then a product red. They say it's the best battery ever in an iPhone, but of course they're excluding Pro models on that. I presume that this bigger standard iPhone 14 is the culprit when it comes to whatever this record is for the standard model, because the standard model hasn't been big in a while. It has the A15 chip, a new 12 megapixel main camera sensor, larger sensor, larger pixels, f1.5, this is on the main camera, and sensor shift OIS. Having a bigger aperture means better low light performance. They're saying a 49% low light improvement. That's pretty significant. This is when Apple gets into their nondescript graphs, where you're looking at them and you're just
what does it all mean?
You're just getting bamboozled with the intake to the point
colorful.
of 49% better, 22% better life, 78% less likely to die tomorrow, and you're like, okay, I'll buy that. That's how it starts to feel when it's flying at you. Anyway, they say 49% lower low light improvement, faster night mode with the bigger aperture as well. You have the true depth front-facing camera, which now has autofocus for the first time on a front-facing camera, f1.9 aperture, so better selfies, video conference, or just recording yourself from the front-facing camera. They talked a little bit about their photonic engine, which is going to apply for both the standard and Pro model. This is a 2 times improvement in low light for the front and ultra wide, and a 2.5 times improvement on the main camera. This is something I like to see, the action mode for video. And this is using the full sensor, and it basically gives you Steadicam-like footage for video. It looks like a gimbal. We've seen this attempted on other devices. In fact, we've seen actual motorized components in other devices in order to create a gimbal-like look to video. The samples they're showing look pretty amazing. Another thing that I'm excited to test, run around. Mo can chase the dog around with the new Steadicam, or what they're calling video action mode. This next fact, this next tidbit, which they kind of glossed over, is going to be the most controversial of the day, I'm certain. No more SIM tray, no more SIM card in any US models. I don't know about Canada. They said US models of the iPhone 14, 14 Plus. No more SIM tray. It is all going to be eSIM. And they made it sound like this is the greatest thing ever. So long, SIM tray. eSIM, go back up. Well, eSIM makes things simple. You can activate your new iPhone or add carriers digitally, so you're calling and texting in no time. And unlike a physical card, eSIM can't be removed if your iPhone is lost or stolen. So they make it like, but you know, I know, he knows, they know. If you're switching phones, you got the flexibility. You got the flexibility to have some autonomy Here, you're definitely, it's a few more steps. You're feeling locked. I'm just saying. Will.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just a guy. I'm just making noises. You know that.
Yeah.
Take it how you want to take it. It's going to be controversial. I guarantee you that. No more SIM tray, all U.S. models. You're calling your carrier too much. I don't ever want to call my carrier. Stay out of my business, carrier. Just give me a SIM card. No, anyway, I don't know. Anytime something like this changes, people are irate. I don't know how irate I am. They didn't mention the eSIM thing with the Pro models. Curious. Pay a little more, keep your SIM card? Did they mention anything about the eSIM with the Pro models? I don't know. Mo's going to fact check it, but I don't think so. The phone also has crash detection just like the watch. So you actually don't need the watch. If you get into the crash, it's also going to do the same thing. It'll trigger emergency SOS if you don't respond, if it thinks you've just been in a crash. And it also, oh, by the way, has this thing called emergency SOS satellite mode. Both of them are eSIM only? Yeah. Both of them are eSIM only? Yeah. The Pro model as well? Yeah. Wow. That's a real-time reaction right there.
We're dead.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to the future. Fingerprint only. Yeah. SIM rec. Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. eSIM. Save the environment. Okay. Emergency SOS satellite mode is essentially going to use satellites in an environment where you don't have a cellular connection or any other type of connection. Now, typically, there's not a lot of bandwidth here in order to send a message out. So they came up with this unique way of dealing with these low bandwidth situations where you go through this kind of list of frequent emergencies that people might have. So if you don't have cell service, you don't have Wi-Fi, you're not completely out of luck. If you have a clear view of the sky, it's going to work its best. And since it is low bandwidth, Apple's actually going to set up their own relay centers. It's kind of like Apple 911, where you can actually send some low data messages, which would result in a call from a relay center to an emergency service, which could then locate you. This is another one of those things that can kill you that Apple wants to remind you of, whether it's the heart attack with the watch or getting lost or in the middle of nowhere, falling down, or the car accident. They've got it all covered. All the ways you're going to got. This is going to be free for 2 years, launching in November in the US and Canada. I have no idea what they're going to charge for it after the fact. I would think it would be a service that would pretty much only be compelling to those that are consistently off-grid. Oh, yeah, you can't see the pricing. I saw the view pricing, but that's for the entire phone. I don't think they're going to tell us about the pricing post 2 years, but 2 years for free for now. $799 to start USD for the iPhone 14. The bigger model, $899 iPhone 14 Plus. These are starting prices, obviously, depending on the specification you get. September 9th for pre-order for both. The standard iPhone 14 is actually going to be available first. September 16th. The Plus model, not until October 7th. Which is interesting because I think it might be the most popular model. It'll be close. I'm not sure between these two. But manufacturing, delays, I don't know. Strategy, supply chain, inflation. I'm just going to keep saying words. I don't know. Many things might be applying to this scenario. But September 16th, regular model, October 7th for the Plus model.